everybody. How's it going?
Dan, we need to start a war.
We're starting a war?
An infinity war.
An infinity war?
Yep.
So are you telling me we're going to assemble
some
Avengings?
The team. We're going to assemble the team.
Do we have a team?
We have 3 Dans.
We do have 3 Dans.
And an old man. I think that's the Avengers.
Sounds about right.
I think I read the comics. That's canon.
But anyway, we're trying something new and bold. We have 2 guests this episode. One's
I know, it's crazy.
One's old, one's also old but new. So Trob and Mike, say hi to the nice people.
Hello.
Yeah. So Mike's a friend of ours. Trob's been here before. Dude, we talked about things. But today...
Yep, you pulled me in off the street. This time I wouldn't even have to get dragged.
This time he came in willingly. And Mike, I don't know. Where did we find Mike?
Mm-hmm.
You put something in Discord and I said, sure.
Deal.
Yep. Damn it,
Yeah.
You're ruining the illusion of us just being in a building picking up random people.
I mean, I was some random old person on the corner of the road and you said, do you want to come talk about something? And I said yes.
And
I was offering food at least.
yeah, you know.
What? Where's my food?
Yeah, I'll feed you.
Cool.
I got some clam chowder.
I won't. Get out. You're gonna do this podcast. You're gonna like
what if
it.
I don't?
Well, then this is going to be a very short podcast. All right, everybody. See you next week.
Let's address the elephant in the room. So Infinity War came out about a week ago. Let's not talk about Infinity War quite yet. I don't want to spoil it for people too bad. Give us some time to hear our sounds.
I mean, I think what we should do is have a non-spoiler section and then
Yeah.
have a spoiler section at the end where we can talk about
Yeah,
that
well, I
sort of
kind of
deal.
want to talk, since we have the whole Avengers anyway. First of all of us here, who is who in the Avengers? I get to be Ant-Man, obviously.
I mean, obviously Mike is the
Clearly.
Hulk. He's Bruce Banner.
I'm always
Clearly.
angry and big and green.
Always.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Trob is Strange,
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah,
Not even
Trob, you get to be Dr.
I don't
Strange.
think it's debatable.
That's really weird, Trey, because as soon as I was actually thinking that, and I was just like trying to figure out which character it was. And as soon as I was like, wait, is someone reading my mind, or...
No, I mean it's just who you would be. I mean, not even I mean, I don't know if Mike would be Bruce Banner, but you were definitely Strange.
Alright.
I think it's Hawkeye.
Yeah.
You'd be Hawkeye.
The
which means you
loner
just
archer.
don't show up.
Yeah,
Exactly. 'Cause I'm the smart one.
You're the smart one and decided to stay home.
Moderate spoilers for Infinity War, but that's already been memed out for everything.
That's
Spoiler
not a
alert,
spoiler. He's
Hawkeye
not.
isn't in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neither is Ant-Man. There you go. So if those are your 2 favorite heroes, and that was the make or break it to see Infinity War, you're gonna be so happy.
And then Trey. Who do you get to be? Trey?
Who do I get to be?
Maybe not
Maybe
Iron
Stark.
Man. Cap? I don't know if he's Stark. I don't know if you're smarmy enough, Trey. Or I don't know if you're enough of an
true.
asshole.
I mean, I think I'm enough of an asshole.
I mean,
man.
How about, what's his name? War Machine.
oh yeah, you can be
Or-
Rhodey.
oh, is it because I'm black?
No,
Trob? Is
no,
that
no,
why?
no,
Is that
no,
why
no,
War
no.
Machine?
I was gonna say.
Oh, you had to reach into the deep Marvel black superhero pool.
So, like, for the whole Iron Man thing, you're not that quite level, but War Machine's close.
Yeah.
I give you that.
You're on thin ice, Trob.
Damn it. There's only been like 4 minutes of this cast. What is this?
You could be Falcon.
Feels bad, man.
You like Falcon?
Yeah, the deep black hero pool. You didn't. I'm not even Black Panther.
Okay,
if
I
you
wanted
can't
to
just
say
get
Black
out of
Panther.
all the
No.
black heroes, you're just like, we'll pick the 2 sidekicks. That's
I
the
wanted to
ones
say
we'll
Black
pick.
Panther, but I was like, is it racist if I just immediately say, Black Panther? Because, I mean, he's cool under pressure. He's kind of funny. And he doesn't know how to talk to women.
Ooh.
It's
That's
fair. It's fair.
Yeah. But anyway, so
It's a fair comparison.
so casual jabs aside. So I wanted to talk real quick. So Infinity War is clearly what, like a decade? How long? When did Iron Man 1 come out?
It's like, I think it was like a decade
over
and
a
18
decade.
movies or something.
Over
a decade. Yeah, over a decade. I think it was like 18 movies,
Yeah.
someone did a count. Like, not quite 20.
Let me just check real quick.
What, 18 movies and 1 refresh?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So Iron Man 1.
Wait, refresh, are we counting Spider-Man? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying for that?
So
Okay.
So that would be a 3 fresh for Homecoming, but maybe? I don't know. So yeah, Iron Man 1 it came out in 2008. So it's been a decade.
I guess it is a decade.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, 10 years.
Sense.
Yeah, 10 years,
That's why
and
in the Marvel logo they had a 10.
Yeah.
wow.
So I mean, like it's been in build up, and I'll say before we get into spoilers for Infinity War, I thought it lived up. I thought
it was fantastic.
It was definitely one of the best entries in the Marvel.
I know some people had some mixed opinions about it. I loved it. I thought it was I thought it was a hot mess, but it was like my hot mess. It was,
if anything,
I was like, I'm probably back and forth on the thing, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It was probably one of the best entries in Marvel's.
sure.
All right, so
movies.
I hate numerical values associated with movies, but I think it's a good baseline. So out of 10, what would you guys give it? Just to start off, just so everyone knows our opinions
9,
of it.
easy 9.
Going into it. Yeah. Okay.
I'd say 8, 8.5.
Okay. Trump?
I'm gonna say 7, 7.5, probably.
Okay. And I would give it a 9. I'd give it a 9, 8.5.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel. Like I said, there were so many things that I really liked about it. I wanted to touch on them later, but since we have everybody here, I thought, do we want to go over our own personal? Let's go with the highs and lows of this.
Yeah, non-spoilers.
I was just talking for the
Marvel movies in
general.
for this decade-long.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the highs and lows for all of you guys?
Are we going to separate out between pre-Disney and post-Disney, or are we just going to do the whole?
Okay, I think it has to be in the MCU. I'm going to draw the line. It has to be in the MCU. It can't be from Fox. It can't be from Sony.
Okay. All right.
So not the first two. So no Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and no Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, no Tobey Maguire, no X-Men.
No Fantastic Four.
All right.
No. As much as I like Deadpool, he's excluded too. He's not in the MCU because that's the only way it's relevant to the conversation.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fine.
So I think I'll kind of start things off. So I think honestly, maybe we can just all say like our favorite and least favorite, and if there's any contentious points for the MCU. For me, my favorite Marvel movie. I mean, if you put a gun to my head, it's got to be Guardians of the Galaxy 1. The first one, that's so good. That's what I wanted from superhero movies. Yeah.
Right.
Is that a contentious opinion to have?
No.
I don't think it's contentious. It's not the direction I personally went with my favorite, but I definitely agree that it is. They were hard pressed to do better than that. Even though I kind of, as a movie, I kind of liked 2 better. I think the 1 was kind of a poster child for like that sort of comedic, like. It was just so it like instantly launched that whole comedic Marvel thing into the spotlight because that had never been done before.
Yeah,
really,
I mean that's kind of cool
that.
how they did the thing where it's like most of the Marvel movies like they have like a very serious tone, but they'll throw you a joke or two here and there to kind of keep it interesting. But like that movie was specifically designed to be funny for funny's sake,
funny.
not just
and
like.
I mean, it still had some stakes to it, is what I like, and.
It did. But I mean, you can't have a dance battle with Ronan at the end and call that anything but a comedy.
I kind of forgot this until I saw Infinity War. I think Drax, Dave Bautista's character, I think he's my favorite character in the MCU. Like, oh my god.
Oh, I actually agree with that. I actually won't contest that. I think Drax is probably my favorite character in the MCU.
If anything, it was just the one line. It's like, where is Gamora? Who is Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? And that's so
Why is that was so good.
It's so good. But, anyway, so look, Trey? What's your favorite Marvel one?
All right, my favorite. I don't think they've ever topped it until maybe now. Was Captain America: Civil War.
I still need to watch.
Really like Civil War. I really like Civil. I think Civil War. I think the main thing is because first off, same director as Infinity War. Same directors as Infinity War. The Captain America directors are the same as Infinity War. But I don't know. I just think the plot was really smart in that movie, and the whole like. It's kind of the launching pad for like all the smart decisions they made later. It feels like that was the first like smart Marvel movie I had seen up to that point. Because like I mean, Avengers had happened and that was really fun, and like all the other Marvel movies, like the first had kind of happened. But I don't know, that one was the one that I thoroughly enjoyed the most. Like that was and I wasn't expecting. I think it was too. My expectations were really low because I really didn't like the first Captain America. I thought it was one of the worst ones in the MCU.
Well,
so. That was my best, followed maybe by Homecoming. I really liked Homecoming.
Yeah. I haven't actually seen Homecoming yet. I've only heard good things. I'm sure it might make my favorite list.
Yeah, that one's good. Oh wait, no, sorry. I guess a runner-up, sorry, would actually be Guardians 2. I know Dan disagrees with me on this one. I really liked the themes in that movie. I thought it was completely different than what I was expecting, but I actually really enjoyed what they gave me.
I mean, that's how I felt with Guardians 2. It was different than what I was expecting, and maybe that's just why I didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, it's probably different than what you wanted, too.
Like, if I wanted that kind of movie, I would maybe just watch, like, Winter Soldier again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, I think that's the kind of story I like, those kind of stories. But, like, if we're just looking for a fun time, it's definitely not as much of a fun time as the original, which is probably why we differ on that so much. All right, but what about you, Mike? What's your favorite?
My favorite's probably Black Panther.
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, yeah, that's a real good one. I really enjoyed that one.
Because it was the antithesis of everything I hated about Marvel movies up to that. So I really hated just how they packed them full of one-liners. And it was just like, they didn't serve any purpose other than to be funny. And I really hate things that do things for their own sake. So it's not like it was comedic relief or anything like that. It was just, here's a one-liner. Here's another one-liner.
Right. Yeah.
Just it took such a serious view of itself.
Yeah, and
I also liked it because at the root of it, it's a story about family conflict, not some grandiose the world's gonna end sort of thing. It was I don't know if anyone's not seen it, but it was.
You can spoil it. I haven't yet, but I'll probably. It's fine. No, I haven't yet. I was hoping to see it soon, but it's fine.
A forgotten relative coming back to assert his right and challenge Black Panther with incredibly controversial views.
Yeah, but you can also kind of see where he came from, which I think was interesting.
They really kind of fleshed out the story a lot, which I liked. So I think more than anything, I like the story-driven aspect of these kind of movies.
Yeah, no, and I like that. Like, I think Trey and I talked on Black Panther before. There was only one thing in that movie that I nitpicked, and like it's even a minor nitpick, and it's the fact that, and maybe Mike, I know you said you don't like when they do things just to do them, but it's the fact that they killed the mentor character. Again, spoiler, Trop, cover your ears.
It's fine. Go ahead. I'm gonna probably watch it in like several days anyway. When it comes out
it's just like the mentor, because like we already had his father die in Civil War, so I'm like, oh, they can kind of skip that story beat, you know what I mean? But then they just kind of like still had to do it just to do it. It felt like.
What's even funnier is that his dad's in the movie. The mentor character isn't. It's just such a pointless character. Like the only thing that made him important was like he was in the past for like a scene. Like I don't. It's just really. It was really silly. Like I don't. I'm right there with you. Yeah. It is a nitpick though. It doesn't ruin the story for any means. It's just. Why was he there other than to tell Black Panther about how bad the Wakanda has been in the past?
So that's about how you felt on that, Mike.
Also, Wakanda was just cool. I want to live in Wakanda.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, opinions? I think so far we haven't had any contentious. Quick, Trump, be the contentious opinion.
Thor 2 was my favorite movie.
I've never even seen Thor 2, so I'm not even going to go into that. I did recently...
I haven't seen it either.
I did recently see Ragnarok, because I actually wanted to see it before I went to see...
Which is good.
Yeah, for the Infinity Wars, that actually was important. So, I will say, out of all the movies that I can think of right now, the ones I probably enjoyed the most were between Civil War and then Doctor Strange. Civil War, I thought what I really liked because they did this whole thing where they had a lot of characters come together and they told everyone's story really well, including a couple new characters that they hadn't introduced. So that was kind of cool, and how they kind of made it sense. So like they pulled everyone in, it made sense why they were there, and then they were able to tell a really cool story with some really cool fights and stuff like that. And it still told its own story really well at the same time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I do like the fact that they brought in Spider-Man and Black Panther so seamlessly.
Yeah, like Black really Panther, cool. Spider-Man, Ant-Man, like all these characters just kind of brought them in as like, oh yeah, I knew these characters, and then they kind of pulled them in from their own individual stories, and again, it would make sense why they're here, like helping fight for certain sides and helping certain people. And then again, for the other side of that, for Doctor Strange, I liked Doctor Strange only because like it told a very unique story compared to like a lot of the other ones. I think, from my opinion, like it's I'm trying to think of a good way of explaining it. It doesn't feel like, because again, this is kind of a character, kind of like some of the other ones where like they come into their powers and they're learning this, and he has to like make some really difficult decisions about his life and just kind of like a whole like understanding of how everything works and making sure he changes his beliefs and his entire outlook on life, which was kind of cool. At the same time, again, like he does some really cool like problem solving to be able to get through his issues. Like again, like how he beats his big enemy in that whole movie is just something you wouldn't really think about, and it takes you to kind of get you to think about how
yeah, I like the ending. I know some people didn't enjoy the way he beat that was a Dormammu or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was a very clever way to beat him.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was really clever. He didn't just like suddenly get a power MacGuffin. I guess the Infinity Stone is a MacGuffin, but he didn't used it intelligently.
Yeah, though. Like he already had it.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Doctor Strange, random thing: can Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman not appear in the same universe, or is that just physically impossible?
I don't know. Well, I mean, Martin Freeman,
he was in Black Panther.
He was in Black Panther.
Yeah, he was in Black Panther.
In Infinity War. He just kind of.
No, he wasn't in Infinity War. He was in Black Panther, and he was in.
They were in The Hobbit together.
Yeah, they were in The Hobbit. Together. They were in Sherlock.
Yeah, they were in Sherlock, obviously.
He did show up in, I think, Civil War. Martin Freeman's character showed up.
Yeah, I think Martin Freeman's he was introduced in Civil War. That's right. And then he's in Black Panther. They haven't been on screen together in a Marvel movie. It's
just kind of one of those things where they do this one show together as co-stars, and they just kind of keep popping up in each other's stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, so let's move into the low lights. What do we think the Marvel universe has done wrong? And I have a double whammy. Yeah, no, my double whammy is the first two Thor movies are wastes of movies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Thor 2. Okay, let me put it this way: Thor 2. I was rewatching all the Marvel movies maybe a year or two ago that were out, and Thor 2, I was like, oh, I haven't seen it. And then when I watched it, I was like, wait a second, I have seen this. It's just really not interesting.
Right.
Just blocked it from your memory, basically.
It's terrible.
It's like nothing of consequence. I don't want to say nothing of consequence because the Infinity Stone, but like, ugh. And then Thor 1, I thought, like, just because we were on such a good string of superhero movies, and then Thor came out, and I was like, oh, this should be fun.
It was that inevitable letdown.
Well, I thought
that movie was okay at best. Like, it was like you meet Hawkeye in it. That's cool.
Again, I think it's just because he spent so much time on Earth being the whole mortal realm sort of thing, and like you're so used to these superhero movies where like there's plenty of action, they're constantly doing things with their powers. Like you see Thor use his abilities like what? Once that entire
very end of the movie. He doesn't even have powers for most of it.
No, it's just like, man, this is so slow, and it's slow, boring, and it's like, you could have told so many different other stories about Thor, and it's like, I get you had to bring him into the realm, but, man.
Yeah, well, then I don't know what happened between Thor 2 and Ragnarok, where in Ragnarok, Thor just became this, like, immortal, sassy quip machine.
Yeah. I just like how they basically just told him to do that again for Infinity War.
Yeah.
No, it does. I like that. I like that Thor way better.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's mine. Good to know I don't have a conceding. Trey, what's your least favorite of the MCU?
Okay, so mine might be a little controversial. All the Iron Man movies. I don't
all of them.
The first one I like. I thought it was fun. I didn't hate it. I thought the ending was stupid, but didn't like the second one. Even with Mickey Rourke, couldn't save that movie for me. Third one was actually terrible, and I hated it. Like it was just like It was like it went from being okay to being bad to being just like this is actually ridiculously bad. I hate like it is like I don't think any of them were very good, especially compared to what came after. Like, I think people like Iron Man 1 so much because it was, like, the first Marvel movie that they really, like, tried with. They, like, really tried on.
I mean, it almost seems like they repeated the formula for the couple action movies after that, and they just really didn't give you anything, like, really new or fun to play with.
Yeah.
I just don't think the plots of those movies were super dumb. Like, it just felt like every movie was robots attack at the end, and that's just it. That's the whole thing. And that's just it. Except for the Mandarin one where red guy gets red and then explodes, and it's just like it's just stupid. I thought all of it was bad.
Yeah, that Mandarin plot. The plot twist for Mandarin actually.
He's a nerd that Tony Stark said was a nerd. Like, it's just, wow, this is so stupid. I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time even remembering.
Yeah, because it's bad. It's just, I think it's probably a contentious opinion. I think a lot of people like the Iron Man movies more than, I don't even think the first one was good. I think the first one had some fun scenes. I think, like, the introduction of the Iron Man suit when he's running through the war zone was fucking sick. But at the end of the day, it just turns into a big robot fight at the end. Like, it's just like,
and
it just wasn't. It wasn't well shot. It was just stupid. The villain wasn't believable. Like,
I mean, that's the thing. It's like most of him just sitting there running around shooting things. Like, he doesn't have like a strategy or like any sort of like. I understand that's like how Iron Man works. Like, he goes into the fight and he doesn't really have a plan. He just kind of makes it up as he goes. But like, it's just turns into a brawl most of the time.
And the second one, they invented a new element to just, like, the biggest fucking ex machina. He's just like, oh, how do we solve this issue? I'll just invent a new element. Okie doke. Thanks, Daddy-O. And then he just wins. And I hate it. I hate them all.
First one.
I guess for the second one, that is a bit convenient.
Yeah. It's a little ass-pully.
Yeah.
It's just super convenient. I hate... It was like it ruined the whole movie for me. I was like, wow, why did they even need to do that?
2/3 of that I won't contest you. 1 might still be good. I think 1, 2, maybe the reason the fight scenes weren't as good is because, like, man, they had money, but they didn't have, like, Marvel Now money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they had, like, the best CG 2008 had to offer, but it's just like, again, there were parts of that movie I thought were like this. The reason I think is the best one of the three of them is because there are bits, there are scenes and like mini arcs in that movie that really work. But I hated the villain. Thought the villain was stupid. I barely understand his motivation, and like I don't know. I didn't really enjoy Tony that much before. I think Tony has come a long way since then. I guess I'll say that.
Let's move on then. Yeah. Mike, we're going in order. What's your least favorite Marvel?
Okay, so keep in mind, my memory is kind of bad.
That's fair.
And I'm going off the movies I've seen recently.
That's fair.
Guardians 2.
Thank you!
I didn't really find the story all that interesting. And that's something I really like to look for in movies.
Is Trey just sitting there in stunned silence?
I mean, I know it was a divisive movie. I disagree personally, but I thought the story was
I don't know, just the daddy thing and then the twist is kind of just like
Yeah.
I mean, the thing
Yeah, Ego, I thought Ego was the weakest part of that movie, but I really like the Gamora scenes. Basically every character that wasn't Star-Lord had a really good movie.
Yeah, because Star-Lord got basically written out of the movie.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think but I thought the other characters were so much more interesting that I just loved. It made me really enjoy the movie.
Oh, like Mantis? Did you like everything Mantis did?
I thought the Mantis scenes were hilarious.
I felt like they were trying to do the thing with Batista and Drax, but not as good.
I don't know. I thought the Drax Mantis thing I thought it was funny. It was funny to me. I thought it was funny, and then I thought Gamora and Rocket Raccoon had a ton of like character development. Like I just really enjoyed their I really enjoyed the bits that I saw with those characters. It was so much more interesting than the Star-Lord bit, like, up until the end.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not alone in this universe.
Wow.
Oh no, I mean, I don't think you were ever alone in that universe. There are tons of people who don't like Guardians 2. I just thought, for me personally, I really enjoyed it. I thought that the story was a lot more involved as character-wise, even if like the Ego main plot was really, really weak.
Yeah.
But it's not like the first Guardians had a strong main plot either. Ronan sucked.
That's completely fair, actually. Yeah.
Dude got bodied by everyone. All he did was paint his lips black and his yellow bunch. Like, he's stupid.
Yeah, but you know what the first Guardians did have? Star-Lord being funny.
That's true. You're right. You're not wrong. I think because Star-Lord has progressively become my least favorite character in the MCU. Like, he's gone down the toilet. I hated him in Infinity War.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's just let's have Trav. What's your least favorite Marvel
Well, I'm not allowed to see the TV show, right, for freaking like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.'s off the table. It is technically MCU, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that.
We're not going to go that way. In that case, then I will still say Thor probably 1 and I haven't seen 2, so I can't honestly say that. But I will say Thor 1 was definitely my worst movie.
You can.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've heard enough bad things about Thor 2, and honestly, Thor 1, like I was talking about earlier when Chase points, like it was slow, it was boring. They could have done so much more. I feel like with that first movie, it's just like, and it came out around a time where again they were starting to really get popular with superhero movies, and you're expecting to get this like, you have the God of Thunder, you have this really powerful hero, you could do some really cool adventures, and he spends like 90% of the entire movie on Earth with no powers. It's like, what?
But
I mean, it sort of makes sense. I feel like, again, I think my biggest issue was they played so hard into the romance issue of it. And then she just
fell off the face of the
planet. For sure. I
hated that so much.
No, I like how they dropped that so fast.
I think it's for good reason, because it was terrible and everyone hated it.
Yeah, maybe that's why Ragnarok was good, because they were like, yeah, this plot, nobody likes it. They have no chemistry.
I think that's like the biggest thing. It's like the slow romance thing is like, I just don't care, and it's literally just sucking the marrow out of this freaking movie.
It just sucked the good out of those
basically.
movies. What little there was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Even the fight scene in that was lame. I'm sorry. The fight with the final armor thing.
I mean, again, his partners did more work than he did the entire fucking movie. It's like,
yeah.
Why is he even here? Like, this could be like Thor's Friends, the movie. It doesn't have to be Thor the movie.
I'm just picturing like the theme song of Friends, but with all the Thor characters. Lightning.
And now intersperse them with Ragnarok, where they just get fucking done. They all fucking die in 2 seconds. They just get bodied in 2 seconds. It's like, no, but I think it was the director Watiti or whatever his name was. Just fucking, he's just like, yeah, people. It's like, I hate those guys. Kill them. I want them dead.
Yeah, I mean,
and so she just kills them in 2 seconds.
Well, and that was like, honestly, when I was watching Ragnarok, I was just like, oh no, those characters are dying. I know they're his friends. I don't remember their names.
Yeah, I just love. Yeah, I didn't remember their names either. I just know they were the merry band. I just love how they didn't even get like good death scenes. They just died like offhand.
Yep, yeah, off screen somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so with Ragnarok talking, then since we just spoiled some of Ragnarok, I think let's give everybody a quick 10 seconds maybe, but then let's get into Infinity War. And I think since we're running a little long, let's just get straight into some of the meat and potato spoilery Infinity War talk.
Oh, we go in directly into spoilers. We just do. Can we do our general impressions first? As like a little 5-minute general impressions. Yeah, just that way we could they could just end the podcast there, because I really don't want to spoil things for this movie. True. If for people who haven't
seen it yet.
Yeah, haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'll start then. General impression, like I said, 9 out of 10. Even that's going beyond my superhero movie scale, which is usually take it like 1 or 2 numbers below. I'd say it's a 9 just in movie levels.
Yeah.
But again, that's a decade of hype sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Traub and I might kind of have a similar on this. 99% of that movie I really like, and 1% I thought was the stupidest stuff. Like, not like bad. Like bad stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, if you like Marvel movies, you'll like it. You already knew this.
Yeah. I think what's gonna break this movie for some people is how much homework you have to do to see this movie. Like, if you have no idea what's happening in the Marvel universe, then you will be so lost. And I'm okay with that. Like, I think this is it's a good love letter to everybody who's been sticking with the Marvel movies, because I know hero fatigue's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, I thought it was so good. I have all of my big problems with it are nitpicks. Like, I have some nitpicks, mostly to do with Star-Lord.
No, I wouldn't call those nitpicks.
I don't think his character ruined the movie at all. I don't think the little Gilligan's Island scene. I won't say anything more about that, but everything else, I don't think he ruined the movie. I just didn't like what they've been doing with his character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's more just thematically, I feel like every time he has any amount of character growth, he just loses it the next movie, and that really frustrates me.
Well, it feels like, again, he started really, really well, and they're trying to develop him into something else, and it's not what people are expecting from him, because they liked him when he started and just kind of.
I keep wanting him to be more than he is, but every time things get tough, he just turns into a big child, and it's really frustrating me at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
What about? Oh no, I was just gonna say. Besides that, though, I thought it was real good. Thanos is real good. The action is real good. I just like the power level of some of the characters just shoots way the hell up. Compared to some of their older movies, which I actually was okay with. I like the big old DBZ fight sometimes. Especially against Thanos, who is like, you'd expect him to be just like some ridiculous, like crazy, powerful guy.
Yeah. But anyway, what about Mike, Trav? You guys have any non-spoilery thoughts on Infinity War you want to let the humans know?
I was going into it, I was very worried having a massive cast of sort of A-tier heroes, with it having a very disjointed story.
Right.
So I was, and that persisted for the first, say, half hour, 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. I think they did a good job, though. I think they definitely... I think they did the right thing. They split them all into groups, and then that way it made it really... And the groups went to really different places, so you never were confused where anyone was going and what they were doing.
But also, they could probably kind of get away with that in the grand scheme if it was a little more disjointed, because it is a two-parter.
Yes.
I think that's probably some part of my bigger issue too, is maybe because like I went in with like really big expectations because of all the hype that I've been getting, and you know, the part where they had to split it up, and I feel like it just feels incomplete. And I know it technically is, but it just feels really disappointing where they left it off, in my opinion.
They have to fit it into an easily digestible amount of time.
I know.
Yes. I mean, it's already 2.5 hours long.
I can understand your disappointment, but I think when the second one comes out, and when you can watch them back to back or one day the next day, it'll be a lot better.
I mean, that's probably true. I mean, I still had a few other things I was a little... I guess it was somewhat nitpicky, and somewhat I was a little more disappointed because I was expecting something else or something more.
I mean, that's a pretty good segue into spoiler talk if you want to get there now. I think that's fine. It's a pretty good one. So I guess for everybody at home who hasn't seen the movie, we are going to be talking spoilers. This is going to be spoilers for Infinity War. I see you in that car. I know you can't take the hands off the wheel. So I'm going to say spoiler 10 more times. Spoiler. There are spoilers. Please don't get into a car crash. Don't hurt yourself.
Is this one of the things where you say it like 10 times and then you start sounding weird when you say it?
But you did do it.
I kind of started slurring a bit towards the end.
I counted.
I did do it 10 times. But
I got you.
But so but we are spoiling Infinity War. We're gonna do all the spoilers.
Shit out of Infinity War.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So I guess maybe since I have some, actually I know Trav, you have some gripes. Trav, what's your big gripes? I want to see if we have the same one.
Okay. I guess my number one gripe I had with it was Vision. Really? My biggest thing is that like Vision was this huge, important role character who had really cool abilities in like the older movies, like Civil War, and then we got to here. He did like almost jack shit. Like, he was so bad, he couldn't do anything. He couldn't fight the underlings of Thanos. Like, he was basically being saved by everyone, and he hardly used any of his power. I'm just like, I was expecting him to at least have some sort of grit to him or some sort of teeth, but he showed none of that.
See, because like, here's what the reason it didn't bother me, and this is the main one, is I think the underlings had anti-vision weapons. Like, they hit him really fast, really early with a weapon that could go right through him, even when he was trying to phase out. And I don't think he ever recovered from that.
I mean, at the same time, though, like, again, I don't think he used his, like, power, like, to shoot the laser from his head, like, his big thing. He didn't use, like, I think one time the whole time.
He used it a couple of times, but generally it was always reflected.
Yeah, but when he uses when he used that power, he got countered, and he actually ended up hurting Scarlet Witch. Like, they had, like, every...
I think, too... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say they had a counter for everything he was going to do.
Yeah.
I think they were ready to fight him. I think that's why he sucked so much against his underlings.
Oh.
And remember, I can almost see, too, maybe, because I know Marvel's done the PTSD kind of thing sometimes, like with Iron Man 3, the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which was...
And Civil War. And Age of Ultron. Tony Stark has a lot of PTSD.
Yeah, Tony Stark. But if you think about it, maybe they were doing that with Vision again, because the last time he used that I-beam is when he paralyzed Rhodey, or War Machine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was kind of disappointed in the character himself.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you were expecting Vision to just be as OP as he was in Civil War... I mean, I wasn't expecting him to be OP,
but I was expecting him to be, like, at least reasonable.
Yeah, he's an Infinity Stone.
Yeah, you'd think he would... Yeah, no, I agree that they did nerf him pretty significantly compared to his other cinematic appearances. I've always hated the Vision. I thought he was a really weak.
I know, but he plays so much of a key position this whole movie, and they just
I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I think the only reason it didn't bother me is because the underlings seemed to have his number from the beginning. Like everything they did seemed to be specifically tailored to counter his abilities. So like. He never got to shine because they were ready for... Because, like, the underlings of this movie are pretty ridiculous. Like,
they're
it really seemed
strong.
like...
I mean, think about it. Squidward, I can't remember his real name. Squidward only got beat because they shot him into space.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I was hoping for a bigger climax.
I like that.
I like the idea. I liked the fact that, like, they did that. The fact that they never could take on any of the underlings by themselves. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. Thanos'
children.
His squad were pretty. His adopted children were pretty. They were pretty strong. Like all of them had like some crazy abilities.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of expected them to have like some sort of really strong abilities, being like the favorite of Thanos.
I don't think any single one of them was ever one-on-one by anybody. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, not really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of Thanos' children, can I talk about the thing that bugged me the most?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
You know, man, his children that died, he sure seemed sad. He must not have loved them like he loved Gamora. Apparently, this whole time he loved her. Yep. Apparently,
yeah. I thought that was a bit of an. Okay, so here's what I really want. I really want them to have like a director's cut of the movie because I feel like there were some scenes left out with those two.
Yeah.
I mean,
it legitimately feels like they have more of those two growing together because like. When Gamora first quote unquote, kills him, she is crying that entire time. Like
but she's never cared about doing that before.
No, that's the main thing. Like, I feel like there's something we're missing here. Like, I feel like we weren't shown enough about Thanos and Gamora together for that to make sense. And that's
they even show you the instances of that. They show you her, like literally her planet getting like half wiped out by Thanos.
Yeah,
it's like you think that harbor anger, not like sentiments.
Like literally, if I had one scene of Teen Gamora hanging out with Thanos and him showing her like the ropes and like showing her his plan to wipe out half the world, because like apparently it was told but not showed that Gamora was really into Thanos' plan at one point. Like they were, but you would never get that. Visually, you never see that, so it really feels disjointed that Thanos somehow really loves Gamora, and Gamora obviously has some sort of like feelings for Thanos as a father because she was really broken up with killing him.
But so for me, that kind of broke everything that was her character in the first two Guardian movies too. She never seemed sad about it. I know she's brooding and pushed it down.
Mm-hmm.
And also Thanos, we'd had no need to make him a sympathetic villain. I like the part where his idea... Let me put it. So I like the part where when he explains his idea and it makes sense. It's like Killmonger or... Killmonger's the best example.
Yeah.
Like he explains his idea and you're like, oh, that could make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot like, the villain from Civil War.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Was it
I know
Mordok?
what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, but like at the last minute, they're like, oh, we need to make him sympathetic because his family died. But it felt more... They went over the rest of the movie to make it sympathetic in Civil War.
See,
and this one is just like...
I kind of disagree, though. I actually really like the fact that they didn't make Thanos like cartoonishly evil or like... Sorry, not even cartoonishly. I thought like he was really he was like the worst kind of psychopath where he genuinely believes he was doing the right thing, and you can almost see from like some weird twisted perspective like that he was doing the right thing. But I don't know. I just really enjoyed the fact that like the whole movie's about like the theme is about sacrifice, and he really believes he's sacrificing things. Like he doesn't kill anybody if he doesn't have to, minus Loki who betrayed him. And
no, he kills half of everybody if he has to. Which is another thing.
But impartially. He doesn't like go out of his. He doesn't like go into all their houses and shoot them with a gun. He just like, I'm gonna kill half the world basically at random, half the universe at random.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe this is because I thought the Thanos from the Infinity War comics was really stupid. I just really didn't.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they didn't go into his fucking red-pilled baby rage Thanos from the comics. Sorry if I'm triggering anybody who read Infinity War, but like I don't know. I really think that I really thought that he was my favorite villain.
And I think that's something I was listening to some articles today too, and I kind of agree that this movie was more about building Thanos' character than any of the other Avengers.
Oh, it was literally just Thanos' movie.
It was Thanos' movie, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who gets all the character development. He wins, so there's that. Like he gets everything is about him.
The only character other than Tim that I saw development more basically a little bit was like Thor. Like Thor has some character development, and it makes sense why he's doing this whole thing. But like other than that,
Thor is the one who ends up almost stopping him. So he as sort of like as sort of like a dichotomy sort of thing. It makes sense that he would get the secondary most character development.
Yeah.
Like, Thor's power and Thanos' power kind of grow in parallel to each other, and then they intersect at the very end, and then Thor just wasn't quite good enough to stop him.
Yeah, and I like that. And like I said, that's just...
If you think... Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
Just want to say one thing, I'll let you finish.
I
think that if you see it from the perspective of that this is Thanos' movie, then Thor is actually kind of the main villain. Like, he gets the sort of, like, screen time that you would kind of expect from a villain of these movies. Not saying that Thanos was a good guy. I don't think he was. I think his plan was bad, but it's just like this is Thanos' movie. Like I think what Trav has said is very true. I think that from start to finish, it felt like very much his movie.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, like I said, since I guess my big thing is like in all the times they've shown Thanos, and I know it's mostly been like end credit things, he's never been merciful, or even like when in Guardians when Gamora stands next to him, he's like, "Oh, do this," and then like. Maybe it's that demeaning father thing. Also, in the movie, he says, "Oh, once I went off my beaten path to give up my destiny," and it's him adopting Gamora. But how do you explain Nebula? Then what's the story there, Thanos?
I don't think he cared about it.
He really didn't.
I don't think he cared about anybody but Gamora. I don't know what Gamora did, like what was so special about Gamora, but he didn't care about any of his other kids.
And I mean, that's the thing. It just felt like that scene was very... I didn't think... Maybe, Trey, you're right. If there's a director cut and we can see more... Or if Guardians 2 could have had more things of, like, show me a Gamora flashback.
Okay, we've had all Star Wars daddy problems, now we get to see Gamora's daddy problems now.
Yeah, well, they did address it, because Nebula and Gamora had that big fight, but they never made it seem like Gamora ever cared about Thanos. All she cared about was winning. That's a different thing.
Yeah, to be fair, I'll give it that. It never said that Gamora had to love Thanos back.
No, but
for the stone, it just had to be something that Thanos.
I mean, and Nebula has said on multiple occasions that Gamora was always Thanos' favorite, and I guess the implication being that Thanos is his love, quote unquote, is more just an adoration. I guess it's the other way around. Everyone just assumed that he didn't care. He just thought she was the best of all of his children. But I guess in some way, he must have actually cared about her, and that was the realization he had in that scene. It's like, wait a minute, I do only care about one person. But I think that wasn't. I don't think he earned that, I guess, is what I think that's what you were getting at, Dan, is that
that's my
he didn't earn that scene.
I think the thing is too is like the only thing I can kind of go into that with is like he does kind of explain like when he was doing the whole like torturing of Nebula is like all these things I taught you, like it just makes it seem like the only thing I didn't teach you was the lines. Like it's the whole idea of like maybe like because of how he molded her through her growth, he sees himself basically kind of like a lot of aspects in her. He's trying to make her into him basically.
He even says it, like I think when they were talking together when they went to his throne room, he's like saying that she was just like him until she changed.
Yeah.
But again, I think that I would have loved to see one scene. It wouldn't even have to be long. Just one scene of her right after Thanos finishes training her, and like then he explains his idea to her, and then you see her accepting that idea of like, oh yeah, we do need to wipe out half the universe. Like
Yeah.
Or a scene of like teen Gamora going back to her home planet that was really impoverished or something, and then like her seeing just how much better it was now that half the population was gone. If we'd had one of those scenes, I think that would have been a million times better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm just I don't know.
But I don't think it ruined anything really. I just think that it felt like it was missing. Like I felt like there was that little extra push they could have gone for, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, and then some of my other complaints. I mean, we can keep going on that scene, but I think that was just like 5 minutes.
I think it was more than 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. But that's. I'm sorry. That's just the biggest one that got me. Beyond that, it's like nothing else that any other Marvel movie doesn't have. Let me just put my actually glasses on. If Thanos only kills half the people and everything, why did he kill all the other dwarfs instead of? How come he killed all the other dwarfs except Giant Tyrion and not just half the other dwarfs?
Because they were a threat to his plan?
Yeah, but then that's not him. That's not in balance. Well, he would have to not kill like a bunch of other giant dwarfs on a different planet.
Or maybe there's only 2 dwarves, Dan. Maybe he did only kill half of them.
Ah, shit. And then
did you see any dwarf bodies, Dan? I didn't.
No, I assumed that the one dwarf had to eat them.
Why would you eat them?
There's one.
Because what else are you going to eat on there?
Do they not have food? Do they not have food?
They just eat the metal. They just eat the scrap from the ship.
Did you see food?
They just eat the scrap, man. Obviously, that's how they work. They live. They just eat all the metal.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe.
We haven't brought up is the big thing that happens at the very end. We haven't even touched on that one. All the heroes dying.
I mean, we can run long too. I like that. I like.
I love that. I didn't think they were gonna do it. I didn't think that they had the balls. I was like wanting to slow clap afterward. I was like, because like I think I've said it literally since I heard Infinity War was going to be a 2-part movie that. I wanted them to just get wrecked in the first part. I wanted all the heroes to just get their like shit kicked in because that never happened before. In any of the movies.
I would have liked them more with the whole shit kicking thing, and like if that would have been less one-sided though. I feel like in some cases because I feel like the Avengers just like
one-sided.
And I get that again. You're fighting Thanos because he has this like super powerful infinity. Like there's some parts where like I feel like they should be like getting their complete shit kicked in like a lot harder, and then there's some times where it was like, why are they losing?
Yeah, like how come Star-Lord had to fuck it up? Like, come on, oh my god.
The fucking Gilligan's Island scene. But the thing is, it was in character. I just was. This is the main thing. I really hate what Star-Lord's character has become. I don't think it ruined the movie because nothing that happened in that scene.
I don't think it ruined it. It's just, man, was that frustrating to watch.
Yeah, and I'm sure for somebody like you who Guardians is your favorite Marvel movie, like seeing Star-Lord just like debase himself like this, like he's like been ruined as a character. Like I think he's the only Marvel hero that's actually gotten worse. Like as he went, no matter how many lessons he learned, he just gets worse. That like
and I hope they bring it around in Guardians 3. But
he's like a toddler. In this movie, like Thor is talking, he's like, "I'm gonna talk like I'm gonna talk like Thor. I'm 5 years old." Like it's just like, man, this is what Star-Lord. This is what happened to Star-Lord, huh? This is what we're gonna do to Star-Lord, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think my favorite one is the meme that got shared around of Chris Pratt, but back when he was in Parks and Rec, and it's Andy Dwyer, and he's like, yeah, guys, honestly, my bad, and then he starts like fading.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
That's so good.
That one was so good.
Anyway, I think we've been talking. Trop, Mike, you guys have opinions?
Give it to me, Mike. Tell us what for.
What do you hate?
Like Iron Man. I really hate how his suit just became, I can do whatever, whenever, and it just kind of was
that bothered me too.
I know. I don't want to say cop out.
It was in the comics.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, also everybody who has like those cool suits is just kind of become like Black Panther is the same way where like he can just has a suit whenever he wants.
Narrowly tailored, and it only really has 2 special abilities. It's super durable and he can reflect kinetic energy. That's it. Whereas Tony's
he had
rockets. He had the one giant megafoot rocket. hammers.
Yeah, he can like just amp any of his limbs whenever he wanted. Like, yeah, it was kind of silly how much that suit has changed since the first one. Like, especially because of how cool the original suits were, and then
his suits they evolved, but in a way that made sense. So they never really got too far past the weapons in the hands, the rockets, and then like a shoulder-mounted weapon. And then he kind of just randomly shows up in this one, and I can do anything I want.
Thanks, nanotechnology.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it does kind of mirror comic Tony a little bit, because I think that happens in Iron Man, like the comics, I believe. I've never been a huge fan of Iron Man, but I was doing a little research on it. But I agree with you that Tony's suit was stupid. I don't like the direction they're going. I do think that I like Tony as a character in this movie more than I liked him in most of the other movies.
I mean,
mostly because of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, almost entirely. I like the dad thing him and Spider-Man have going. With Spider-Man when he starts to fade, that hurt.
Oh, that was hard to watch, man. That was
really well played though. He acted the action for that was really, really good.
That was.
It didn't quite fit in with everything else.
I thought it was the only one that did. I thought the other heroes didn't quite make sense because they just all the rest of them just kind of faded out, and he was like the only one who had like the reaction I would have had in that situation.
The way they explained it is because he had spidey senses, so he could tell what was happening to him before it happened.
He could feel his body disintegrating.
Yeah, I think Drax and Mantis had faded before that, so he saw what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Also, speaking of the other characters disappearing, I like how they had the balls when Black Panther went over to pick up
and
I was just like, oh, his guard's gonna fade away, and then Black Panther starts fading. I'm like, what? No.
With Black Panther making all the money ever, I was really surprised that Marvel would actually go ahead and pull the trigger on that one.
They're gonna come back.
Oh yeah, for sure,
absolutely not. The time stone's a thing.
Here's the real question: who do you think actually dies?
Are we counting Loki, and are we counting the Guardian dude at the beginning?
Yeah, what does the body count look like at the end of the next movie?
Okay, so hear me out. This is my thing. I think they're all gonna come back except for, including Loki. 110%. I'll put money that Loki's.
I actually don't think he's.
I don't think he is.
I think he's not dead. I'll put money. I already told Trey. Actually, okay, not money, Trey. If Loki does not come back in Infinity War Part 2, you can pick any word to tattoo across my ankle.
Oh shit, this is gonna be good.
It's getting real.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, okay, one word. Just pick weeb, because that'll work.
Oh yeah, okay. You'll get weeb tattooed on your ankle.
Oh my gosh, I need to see this.
No,
I'll take you up on that bet.
I got a year. You're gonna forget by then.
We have this podcast
on the internet, though.
I won't forget. You know what? I'll do the same thing. If he does come back, I'll do it. I'll get weed tattooed on my ankle.
I like this.
Oh god.
But here's my other body count. I think Gamora is gonna stay dead.
No.
But I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is gonna be a story to try and bring her back. And then from there, 50-50, I could see her staying alive or staying dead.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's almost guaranteed to come back. She's too big. She's too big of a character not to. I'm
kind of the same way. I think that she has too much that she still hasn't done yet to not come back. It might not be in this next movie, but I'm kind of with Dan. It might not be the Infinity War, so like it might be that she stays dead in this one, but I think she's gonna come back.
I feel like there's all the flashbacks too that they're doing of her. I feel like they're not gonna just stay up and say she's just gone forever and she's gonna only be in the memory of Thanos. I'm like, no. Okay, and this is a theory that I've seen online a little bit too. People think that her soul is still alive within the Soul Stone, the Soul Infinity Gem, that when she was sacrificed, and they could use that to bring her back.
I know. Okay. Yeah, I know. One of the theories is that all of them are trapped in the Soul Stone.
Yeah, because they don't actually explain what the Soul Stone does. They just tell you, it's like, oh yeah, this is one of the Infinity Stones, but they don't tell you exactly how it affects.
Just what I was about to ask. What does the Soul Stone actually do? Because they say it's like it holds a special place amongst them.
Yeah, so but they never explain its actual power. Yeah. Like all the other ones have defined abilities. This one does. The Soul Stone doesn't. I don't remember what it did in the comics, so like I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't want to look it up. Just
it's just a spoiler sort of thing for later.
All right, so here's my theory. I think that Tony and Captain America are dead next movie.
I can't believe they didn't kill Tony this movie. I liked that fake out so much.
I think this is the thing. They killed all the new Avengers. Did you notice that none of the
only
original
the old Avengers
died?
are left? So it's like, what we got? Yeah. Black Widow.
So this is. I think that the next movie is going to be a send off. I think it's going to be a send off for like most of the main cast.
And I can't remember what it was now, but it was basically Captain America is going to die, so Bucky can become the new Captain America.
That would make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man will take over for Iron Man. I don't know if they'll kill Black Widow.
I think because they've already pretty much come out and said that those two characters, at least the actors, are done. They're not doing anymore.
I think they said originally about that. I think Chris Evans is doing another Captain America movie, though, or another Infinity. I think he's going to be in the next Infinity War, because he originally wasn't going to, but I've seen some articles saying that he may continue for at least 1 or 2 more movies, just to kind of like wrap everything all up.
I guess they have the flexibility to do whatever they want. Apparently, just to keep it from leaking, they did death scenes for every single one of the characters.
I thought I had heard that. What is it? The Spider-Man actor, he wasn't allowed to read the script because he had leaked so much about.
Because he's terrible at keeping secrets.
He's the worst. He's such a. I like that guy.
I really like him too. Okay. So I don't think the whole Avengers cast is dead next movie, like the original Avengers. I don't think all of them are dead. I don't think the Hulk is dying. I don't think that's...
Speaking of the Hulk, I really wanted them to go more into the whole Hulk conflict with just like why he isn't coming out, basically.
I
understand why probably. Yeah. I wanted them to talk more about it though.
I had a coworker make this point. The Hulk is basically invincible. So in this sort of fight dynamic, he probably would have just rolled over anyone, or they would have been called out for underplaying the Hulk.
I mean, they could say the same thing about Thor, though.
I don't know. Thor had to go get his weapon.
Yeah, Thor at least had to kind of earn his power.
That's true.
Yeah, we saw last movie with Hell too. Thor can get bodied.
Yeah.
But no, I think with the Hulk too, I think what it could be is, so the Hulk, like, especially after the whole being that gladiator thing, he knows he's the strongest.
Yeah, and the Hulk is basically a child too.
Yeah, and he gets his shit stomped by Thanos at the beginning of the movie.
Which is this? I think this might be the first time that's ever happened in the cinematic universe. I don't think the Hulk has ever lost a straight up fight before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So can I say a prediction I actually had for Infinity War that didn't happen with the Hulk though? When I started seeing that. I thought what was going to happen is Black Widow was going to get killed, and that was going to set off the Hulk to come back and just, stomp face, like you said.
Right. I mean, that can still happen.
I'd see that happening in the second one, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think this was for sure set up for the next one. Like that conflict with the Hulk not showing up because he's scared of Thanos. I think that's definitely set up for the next movie. And I actually could see that. I could see the Black Widow dying.
I would really like that. Kind of. Also, if Hawkeye showed up, if
Hawkeye, he has to. There's no way he doesn't.
By the way, where did Valkyrie go too? Also, while we're at it.
Oh, Valkyrie's probably dead.
I think she died.
Well, the thing is, though, they said that only half of Thor's people died, so maybe she's with the other
or either that, or she had another ship that had the rest.
Yeah, because I think only half the ship was destroyed. The other half of the ship, I think, was left alone. So it's like they're probably just floating in space, but they're still there. Although I don't understand why
either she died off screen, or should they going to bring her back for the next Thor movie?
That's a complaint a lot of people had. Is it like with them seeing all the Asgardians die, or half of them die, like right in the beginning? It almost felt like Thor Ragnarok didn't matter.
Yeah, he's like, they're all gone anyway. Whatever. We tried.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of agree. I think the only thing that really stuck with Ragnarok was the fact that him and Loki kind of made reconciled with each other.
And
the fact that Hulk was with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, any other thoughts people had, or
I really like the movie. I'm really excited for the next one.
With talking with you guys, that scene makes more sense, and I think I'm in the same boat as you, Trey. If show me teenage Gamora, and more so show me Thanos giving a shit about teenage Gamora.
Yes. Like, see that little fatherly tear in his eye for one scene as he sees Gamora wipe out half a planet or something like that. That would just make the whole thing. And they can still do it. Like, if Thanos is like, if my theory, the fact that Thanos is unsatisfied with what he did, like, if he doesn't get that happy sunset because of the fact that he had to kill Gamora, and that was like, wait a minute, one life is worth that.
Yeah. I guess my only other concern with this movie is I didn't like near the end how they made it seem like Thanos really had to struggle. I mean, he had 4 freaking Infinity Stones, and it felt like even then he was struggling with like. I understand the heroes are strong, but like he shouldn't have been struggling with like nearly as many of the Avengers before Thor showed up when he was going after Vision.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and again, it's like he does the whole turn back time thing. He gets the final stone. It's like he shouldn't have had any trouble walking through all 4 of those guys.
I think that was definitely a cinematic thing more than
and I just like I felt
like it's dumb. Like it doesn't make good cinema for Thanos to just come in and be like, oh well, I guess I win. Whee!
I mean, I think at that point too, he knew he was so close. Like they didn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, at the same time, like I feel like he could have done the same thing when he was like had the 4 Infinity Stones when he was fighting like against Tony and Spider-Man, and had the Guardians. Like he had this incredible power, and he just
he could have just literally blown the planet they were on
he could just strike Titan and like that's mine now. Just walked off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think again that doesn't make for a very good
and I understand
movie,
it's not good cinema, but it still bothered me that it like they could again like I feel like if they wanted to do it in another way, they could have had him fight without the stones, and then he got like most of them all at the end. Like they used them against him, like he had like 2 or 3, and then like the last couple stones he had to fight both of them at the same time, and he just comes out ahead and gets the last 2 stones, and then just does the whole wipeout thing. But like instead he had all this power, and then he's like. Sure, cool. It was cool cinema when he did the fights for it because he had to use all the stones, but at the same time, he shouldn't have had a hard time fighting any of those heroes whatsoever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. If they'd have given him all the stones at the end, you could have seen people complaining about it just to cop out.
I probably would have
to get to their end point.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's what I think. I like him getting the steady influx of stones.
I think they did a good job gating
I think they did that
stones.
fight. I don't know. I think they did those fights about as well as you could do those fights, in my opinion. Like,
I think one thing is to. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to like.
Oh no, go ahead.
I think the one thing is too when he's fighting Tony. Apparently I don't know if this was really explained in other movies, but after Avengers 1, when Tony like blew up his army, apparently he just hates Tony Stark and like actually like. That's why, like, he doesn't use any of his Infinity Power stuff on Tony. He just walks up to punch him.
Oh, okay.
He wants the satisfying kill as opposed to the easy kill.
Thanos is very much, like, it's funny. He's not a very practical guy. In some ways, he's very honor-driven. Like, he very much, like, it's like when he was fighting the Hulk. He didn't use any Infinity Stones. He just beat the shit out of him with his fists. Like... He just like when push comes to shove, Thanos would rather be an honorable person in a fight. Like he almost never just destroys everybody when he sees them, even though he could. And they even imply that he could. A lot of times,
he pulled a whole moon down on top of them, basically. At some point.
Okay, that was so cool to watch.
Yeah, that was
cool.
pretty badass shit. But so
our fucking Strange at the end there, that was fucking sick when he did the fucking like multiple arms technique.
Experience tranquility.
Yeah, experience tranquility.
I just also like how he just kind of blew right through the mirror dimension.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Oh yeah, that was cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. That was the best. I think that was the best fight scene in the whole movie. Like that like all that whole start to finish on Titan. That was real good.
Yeah,
I like that.
The fight scene was cool. Even for me, if it didn't make a lot of sense, it still was fun to watch. Like it was really cool, but.
Yeah, and it fit Thanos' character because like everything he almost it just felt like to me, and maybe this is wrong, but it seemed like whenever he decided to take the field, he always did it in an honorable way. Like he liked having an equal playing field against people. It seemed like, or not equal, but like more equal than it really should be.
He likes fighting.
Yeah, except for the whole thing where they find him on somewhere or whatever it is, and they try
nowhere.
Yeah, that was kind of.
And he just annihilates them. But I think that was because the Gamora was involved.
Yeah, probably.
One thing I really like they did with them is they had to remind you that he's the bad guy. So when he tortures Nebula, they had to be like, oh yeah, that's right, this is the bad guy. Because
like he's up to that point he seemed like once they got past the fact where he just like wrecks Thor's whole ship, it just feels like he's been doing things that aren't super bad.
I'm very calm about it most of the time.
Yeah, he's been like, he's just he's doing the JRPG pro tag thing. Where he is just trying to be
an anti-hero, sort of.
Yeah.
I guess.
But
here's less closing statement for me. One thing I do want to know, kind of going into that though, I want to know what Strange's vision was where they won.
I think we're still.
I know we're still in it, but I think it's kind of cool. I want to see how this whole thing plays out because, I
think it has to have something to do with Tony.
Yeah,
I think Tony. That's the reason he gave up the stone for Tony is because Tony's integral to
how they win basically in the end. Yeah, because like they used that in the ship, like when they were going to the planet on Titan, he's like, yeah, if it's between you, the kid, and the stone, I'm always choosing the stone.
Yeah, and then when it didn't, and it didn't feel like he was doing that because he felt like it was the right thing to do. He just did it because it was some part of some like chess game he was playing.
Yeah, he's playing 40 chess here with everybody.
He went through 14 million possibilities. He knows he only has one shot at this. Yep. And if Tony dies, then that's it. They don't win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I think Mike, we've been boxing you out half this podcast. You got anything you want to add in, or
not really? I've added my points and. Yeah.
Nice. Well, then,
good stuff. All right, we can probably wrap it up.
Yeah, we can wrap up.
So thanks for stopping by, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks. So, final question: since we're the Avengers, how many of us died when Thanos snapped his fingers?
I technically did.
You did. Mike did.
Let me flip a coin.
I just wasn't even there. Yeah. Yeah, everybody flip a coin right now, so not including.
I mean, it depends. You guys never decided if I was Black Panther or not.
No. Trey, this is okay. So Trey, you get to be Black Panther, but it's separate from the movie. We all flip a coin right now to see if we die or not. Heads, you die. Tails, you do. I died.
Crap.
What's something that's two-sided? There we go.
A coin.
Okay.
I don't have one of those.
You can also
I live.
But you said heads you die. Tails you die. Tails you die. Okay, let's see. I live.
Yay.
Crap, I died.
I used a webpage.
Rip me.
Okay. Well, Mike, I just Googled it real quick.
Oh, yeah. I just grabbed a card and whoop.
Same diff.
Yep.
All right, I need you guys to bring me back to life in the next movie then. There you go.
Wait, did you die, Mike?
No, I lived.
I lived. All right,
too.
We got
half of us lived. Actually, we actually got half.
Oh shit! Thanos!
Thanos!
Yeah, but thanks for stopping by, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks a bunch.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So as always, I'm Dan,
and I'm Black Panther.
All right, get out of our podcast.